Hello, hello, lovely Marshall. Such a nice, beautiful name.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for the honor of being here with you today on your amazing podcast to speak with all of your listeners and your audiences. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. And I'm also looking forward to know more about you, what you do, what you're passionate about, what you would like to share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am excited to share my mindset to results.
Yes, amazing, amazing. So tell us a little bit about you. What is your story so we can know more? Where did you start? How did you come to the place where you are now?
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I tell people I started with an incredible story, but then failure happened and I felt nursing school. But I realized that the nursing school wasn't even my dream to like become a nurse. It wasn't even my dream. It was my mother's dream because she had told me when she was growing up that she always wanted to be a nurse, but she couldn't
Mhm.
afford it because her family didn't have the money.
Mhm.
So I took her dream and made it my own. So of course you're gonna fail, right? And then a series of amazing events happened, and I went from failing nursing school to getting a job at Facebook without a degree. And so many people wanted to know, like, how did you get a job at Facebook without a degree? Like, you're making over $500,000, and Facebook is one of the top companies in the world. And like, how did you get a degree? I mean, how did you go there and get a job? And it always just ended up being like, well, I believe that I could. And I wanted to go from being overlooked and undervalued. I wanted to be paid.
Mhm.
And everybody really sort of resonated with that. And that led me to this sort of mindset to results. But I think the biggest shift for me was this book called The Magic, and it's by Rhonda Byrne. And
Mhm.
it talks about how you set your days and attention. So, like today, I say, thank you for a great podcast, for Mindset to Results, where we're going to have an impactful conversation. And we're both going to empower people's lives. And it's going to grow both of our followings and stuff. Like by saying that before it even happens, you feel more empowered. You feel really, really good. And I learned that really has helped me in achieving success, even being a guest on your podcast. Like I thought that it was really great to be on your podcast with all of your thousands of listeners and things, and really just being intentional about saying thank you and what is it that I want from my day to day has really helped me from failure to Facebook. And now from being a former Facebook employee to now I am a Forbes coach and a powerhouse founder of starting my own business. So it's been an incredible journey.
Amazing, amazing. I really love your energy. And
Oh,
it,
thank you.
it all comes from being grateful, yes, for everything.
Yes,
It just
yes.
comes from you that you live in that state of being grateful, and this is how you get more. Because when we are grateful for what we have, this is how we attract even more reasons to be grateful. And I really love your energy. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think it's both of us. Before we joined you all live, we were just complimenting each other. I was like, "You look so beautiful this morning," and it was so nice that both her and I we have read, and it really is. I think it's more so you too, like what you do. You provide in a platform. You make it easy for people to just feel just open and have a really great opportunity.
Yeah, you make me cry. Because really I become emotional, yeah, when yes, and really this is, it is so powerful that we can do this, we can connect with each other, that we don't need like television or somebody else to connect us. Yes, we just can start from nothing, and we can build the space to just invite amazing people in our world. And I'm so grateful to you also that you came. And
Yes. And to give everybody a context, so I live in Texas. I live in Texas, so a Texan, and she's all the way in UK. We would have never connected. Like, there was no way for us to connect it. And now I'm connected to her on LinkedIn. I follow her podcast. It's amazing how the internet can provide meaningful connections.
yes, and you know that again, you said that this is desire, right? Like this desire, it is so powerful because from many years ago, when I was in Ukraine, and I was in a very dark time, in a very dark space in my life, when
Oh no, I'm sorry.
yes, when I understood that I don't want to do what I did before, although I was very successful. 10 years I was in network marketing, and I was international leader, having thousands people in my downline. And there were some occasions that I was losing, losing and losing and losing. So from one side, I was making big money, and on other side, I was losing a lot. And one thing happens that people who pretended to be my friends used my trust and stolen everything that I had. Three
Yes.
houses,
Yes.
car, just everything. And
Dang.
I found
Yeah.
myself just out like homeless. Can you imagine this? Just having very luxury lifestyle, and then one day just losing everything, and I didn't even know. Like I even understood that they stolen, uh, like when bank manager called me and told. So even like one period of time I didn't know that, and then I found out that I have nothing, and I have even minus because some properties I bought, and I had to pay, right, monthly.
Wow.
So I became like minus thousands of dollars. Bank wanted me to pay for property which I don't owe anymore. So that was such a big emotional impact when I decided that I don't want to promote any business, any company. I want to become value myself. Then I realized that I want to find the way to be value, to give people value and not depend on any material things. And this is how I can say that I was in the heaven and then I came to the bottom, like below zero. And then how I started step by step. I found I started from just watching YouTube videos, like watching
Yes.
YouTube videos.
Same, me too. Thank you, YouTube.
Yes, yes, this is, I mean, that the spirit, like when you really want something, and that time I knew that I want to do something big. It always was in my mind. Since I was childhood, I was not mixing with other children. Like I don't know how, but I was different. Like I was always different. And I knew that I want to do something big, and I didn't know what. I knew that I love people, I love to study, I love to teach. And and then when this situation happened, by the way, I always studied. I have two master degrees, and was teaching in university also for 7 years.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
congratulations.
But when this situation happened, I really started looking like for this self-development and was just picking things from YouTube. And this is how I found Joe Dispenza, which so helped me. Even one his phrase helped me so much. And also Bob Proctor, who became my mentor lately.
Oh
So
my
what?
gosh. I love Bob Proctor. He's a part of the Secret book.
Yes,
And
yes.
yes, I love him. I watched the Secret movie, and he starts out, "Hello, I'm Bob Proctor." I
Mhm.
love it.
Yes, exactly. This is how, like even these free videos on YouTube, I realized that they can change people's lives. This is how it happened with me. Like I was so broken. Really, I was broken because it is not only about losing material things like houses, cars, like everything what they had access also. I mean, a lot of things were stolen, but it is not even about that. It's also about betray, like how people you trust people and how they can do that. Initially, I couldn't even realize, like I couldn't believe that it is possible. So it is such a big shock, and of course the YouTube videos, they helped me to start. And then when I found Bob, of course, then I invested and I went through mentorship with him, and then I became PGI consultant. So, but everything started with YouTube videos. And that's why I got so inspired with this, that there are so many people who really are looking for solution, who know that they are for bigger, that they can do, but sometimes they find themselves in the situation that it is like the everything is taken, uh, like they feel it. What to do, like what can I do now, yeah, how can I become successful? Maybe they start questioning themselves that maybe they just not good enough. Yes, and this is why I got this idea to create a platform to bring the best experts, top experts, to one place where people can come and listen, and connect
Yes.
and find the
Yes.
best mentor.
Yes, I love that. You're like creating the Secret 2.0, because the Secret was all about the experts of 2007, 2006 and stuff. And now you're doing it for 2024 and beyond. That is amazing. Kudos to you. I am grateful that you allowed me to even be amongst these brilliant minds that are teaching of this day and impacting millions of lives. Thank you.
You're most welcome, lovely Marshall. I love your name. Oh, your parents should loved you so much to give you such a wonderful name.
Ah, I
Amazing.
do. I always say that I am a daughter of five sisters. So there's five girls. And I always tell people I'm my dad's most beautiful daughter and I'm my mom's favorite. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of confidence growing up as a kid. Just from the love that I felt from my parents and things. But I was like you too. I went into debt to be liked by friends who actually weren't my friends. I don't even know the last time I've even talked to them or even seen them since college, or even my friends that are in high school. And it's so unfortunate. A lot of people out there are liked, but they're lonely. So they're liked by people for what they can do for people, but they're not loved for who they genuinely are. So it creates this sense that we are liked but lonely. And it's really empowering that people can see you and I where we've attained these massive success, but we've also had moments in our life where we didn't feel good. We felt bad, and friends betrayed us. And so I want you all to know that as you're hearing this, that if you are going through this moment, that there is another side of this. Like she said, listen to her podcast, listen to YouTube videos. Bob Proctor is amazing. He talks about U square and how you can be able to U square yourself and your right to be rich. He has amazing books that is available on YouTube just through audio, where you can listen to him while you're riding the train, while you're walking. Listen to her podcast, Mindsets to Results. Get these insights and feel empowered. Like, today's my day. I can do this. I'm not going to worry about those people. It doesn't matter what they say. It does not matter what they say. If your parents aren't, loving on you and doing it, doesn't matter. It's your life. And the only way for you to move forward is to get those mindsets, and then, you'll have the results that you dream of.
Yes, exactly, exactly. What else Bob Proctor was teaching, that you are so powerful being, a so powerful being, and you are simultaneously at three levels, at three planes. The spiritual planes, which is our thoughts. We have also intellect, our intellectual, which is ability to generate ideas, and physical. This is our body. So we're really so powerful beings when we understand that we are not just our body and that we can think, and our spirit is so huge. It is always for expansion, for growth. And if we learn to listen our inner voice, which is good, which is like our spiritual part, our intuition. Yes, and if we learn how to use these high mental faculties such as imagination, intuition, we can start dreaming like children. Yeah, when they small, they dream and they feel it, and for them it is their reality. They don't even think that it is not possible or what you think you are. They don't have this till their adults, parents don't tell them, right? But they really can be that person already in their imagination, and this is the secret. This is the secret how everything can be, and it doesn't matter what challenges you face on the way. It doesn't matter because it is just current this physical reality, but it doesn't mean that this physical reality which you have now will determine your future. What is in your mind, how you see yourself, will determine your future.
100%. And as you were talking, I remember in the book, what really empowered me was he said, I'm so happy and grateful now that
Mhm.
my annual income has become a monthly income. And that happened for me. I remember at the time when I first heard his thing, I was making $37,000 a year. And by the time I got to Facebook, and that was, it did not just happen overnight. And it was, again, my own mindset. I'm like, how can I go from making $37,000 a year to $37,000 a month? That's over $500,000. I don't have a degree. I'm a Black woman, So I would say it, but I didn't believe it. But the
Mhm.
moment that I believed it, and I remember like getting my first paycheck from Facebook, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm making over $37,000 a year." It was like a light bulb went off, like, this stuff does work.
Mhm.
And then I had to go back to ask myself, like you, like, what was stopping me? It was because I wasn't operated as the multi-dimensional being. I just only saw this here, but I didn't think about all of the laws that were in play. The fact that people could be good to me and give me a chance, and, want me to be a part of their team and their company, or a part of their podcast. And so writing those things down, if your dream is to be on her podcast and other people's podcasts, I am so happy and grateful that I am on 5 podcasts per week and they're paying me to speak. You write those things down. And it was really the now that part that I love that. It was like now that, and then what is it that you want? Oh, and Bob Proctor, man, I'm so grateful for your spirit and for you, grace and earth because you really, really changed millions of lives, even to this day. I know that he's now passed away, but he's still, me and you are bonding over his amazing insight.
Exactly, exactly. Yes. And as you said also before that it doesn't happen in the night. Yes, it is important to have that big vision and idea and let time, yes, let it come to be manifested in time. But when you have that idea, as I told you, like 4 years ago, I had no idea how to do it, but it came to my mind that I want to bring this knowledge when I met Bob Proctor first time, when I found him, and it really helped me so much. It totally changed the trajectory of my life, my mindset, who I became.
Yes.
To that extent, yeah, to that extent, when I look back, even 4 years from now, like back, I don't recognize myself. I just even can't imagine how would I live without this knowledge. I've understood this is so powerful, so important knowledge that everybody has to know it and implement, and why it is not taught in the school or kindergartens, because people would have totally different lives if it would.
Totally different lives. Totally. And especially for, like you said, kindergarten, that's where we truly imagine things. We have the imaginary friends and, to cultivate that and then do it again in first grade and do it again in second grade. I remember reading The Secret, and my son, he was struggling in school. And so I told him, like, before you do the test, just write A on your paper. So it doesn't matter what you put down, you are telling yourself you're going to get an A. And he went from struggling and making, bad grades because he just didn't understand it to now he's like on his way to the university and he has scholarships. And it's so exciting. But for me, learning those insights, I was like, okay, if it's working for me, what about my children? Can this work for my children? So I totally agree with you. Since it isn't taught in school, you all must teach your children, like share these stories with them. Ask them, like, what is their dreams? And my son, his dream when he was young, it was like, oh, I want to have a Tesla and I want to have a horse and I want to have these things. But it's been nice to just even see the imagination because although he didn't get the horse, he was able to get a motorcycle or he was able to, go to this amazing country and visit. So it's been just exciting. And you get inspired by your kids because they just light up when they can dream and just tell you things that they're thinking. I really challenge you not to just practice it in your own life, but with your husband, with your wife, and especially with your children. So you bring up a really great point.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned about your son, it is so interesting that children are born with this ability to manifest things, and nobody even teaches them. If we adults wouldn't teach them the other way, they would manifest. Yeah, but what happens that when they go to school, they are taught to be logical, come from heaven, be here, be present, look at your book, why you're daydreaming. Dreams are only for like maybe small children. You are now adult, yes, and from that it starts conditioning them to not to use these high mental faculties which we all have been gifted, yeah, from our day when we were born. And then how they forget how to dream, how to use imagination, and start being logical and just thinking how they can do that, how it is possible. And this is how they become all limited just to see at the current situation, they experience all these results, and they let these results project their future because they can start building plans not from what they want, not from the place of their desire, but they start only thinking, okay, what I can do, Okay, 5%, yeah, 5%, 10%, that will be good. And this is how most people live with. They just think about 5%, 10%. Yeah, they don't think about quantum leaps like 100% or 1,000%.
Yes, quantum leaps. Like you don't have to go from A to B, but you could go from A to F, and then you can go from F to M. It is possible to do those quantum leaps. But I believe what we're doing right now is what they, consider the mastermind group, that mastermind community where they spur you on and you share your ideas and you share your insights. And that's what I believe holds a lot of people back is their community. But for you and I, and we're like, yes, I want to go after this. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, you should totally do it. Not believing you. And then I check on you to say, hey, this is what's going on. Or I get inspired by what you tell me. And I say, I just read this article and this is what you've been hoping for. And I think you need to connect with these people. And I think not enough people tap into their mastermind group instead of their friends, instead of their, family members. They should have that mastermind community of what you're building, the mastermind of experts where we could help each other because we realize, hey, this is my dream life. These are the things that I want, and you can be able to help me accomplish.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Yes, exactly. I think that when brains come together, yes, the minds come together, this is where is the power because we all are connected to the universal mind. There is one mind. Yes, and each of us gets some spectrum of that mind, and we can see things through the prism of our paradigms, like how we were brought, how we were taught, what was the paradigm of our family society. Yes, and we just see a little spectrum, yes, of the truth, what is truth about this certain subject. And when we combine different minds, the parts of the this universal mind, when they come together, then they bring as a puzzle, as pieces of puzzle, all these views, those perceptions together, and this is how we can see the whole picture. Yeah, because people see things different. Even 100 people will go to the same movie and everyone will see something different. So
Oh my gosh, yes.
yeah, because our mind picks up picks only things which it accepts, and things
Yes,
which we don't accept it doesn't see. Can you imagine that just we going blind to so many things and we just receive the spectrum of reality with which matches what our subconscious mind accepts. That's why it is so powerful when we bring all people together and we speak about different topics and everyone discuss it from its own perception. This is how we see the clear picture.
yes, 100%. We can see it together because of our different perspectives, but that's also what makes us unique too. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yes, and recently, as I told you that 4 years ago, it was just an idea. I thought I want to create such a platform where I will bring the best experts, and it is now 4 years from that place where I was in
Wow.
Ukraine, and I had no idea. You know what I did? I wrote Bob Proctor name on the board. And
Oh my
yes,
gosh, really? You wrote
yes,
Bob Proctor name on the vision board?
yes, before I didn't
Wow.
know him, and I just was listening YouTube videos. So who I was listening was Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, and I think a couple of other people. And then I thought
Yeah,
that in our our post-Soviet Union um territory, yes, it was so we didn't have this knowledge. And when I just
yeah,
found it, I thought it is so powerful. I want to bring this knowledge in our country so people can benefit because they don't
yeah,
have access, because they don't speak English. So many people who
yeah,
need this knowledge as I need it, and they don't have access. So I thought I want to create a platform to bring the best experts on the in the world to one place, and then to promote them and be make them available for also my country language. Yeah, so first,
Wow.
my first idea here, and I wrote Bob Proctor name. I read the I put the name the list, and wrote Bob Proctor and few other people. And then, can you imagine, when I wrote this, I had no idea how I can work with him, because he was in Canada, I was in Ukraine. I didn't even know much what is possible. But exactly in few days after I wrote, I I met the guy who was his representative in
Oh my gosh.
yes, in Serbia, who organized events and brought Bob Proctor to Serbia. Because how I saw him, because I wrote, so Bob Proctor was already in my mind. And in one event, I saw this guy, and he had banner him with Bob Proctor. And they I said, oh, this guy knows Bob Proctor. And I reached out to him, and through him he invited me to the event with Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor offered to be his consultant. This is how I started working with him as mentor, and got into his mentorship program, and became a Proctor Gelling Institute consultant.
I love that. That is so amazing. And I did that same thing. So I have a desire for Oprah to be my client. I was like, billionaire clients, what I know for sure. And I wrote this 3 years ago on my vision board. And next year, I'm going to be one of the keynote speakers alongside Oprah Winfrey. So I'm like so excited. Like when they announced who the headliner of the keynote speakers were, and they said Oprah Winfrey, oh, this is a dream come true. So I like told like all my families, all of my friends, like this is so amazing. Like this stuff works. And you know that it works. But it's when those things like you meet in Bob Proctor, it me being on stage with Oprah, and not only that, but because I decided to apply and be a speaker at this time before I even knew that she was gonna be there, like everything came up. You know, they always say that you're lucky only because preparation meets opportunity. You know, you prepared, you reached out to the people. I reached out to become a speaker, and then Bob Proctor came along, and then Oprah Winfrey came along. So it's definitely magical with it, but there's also some preparations. We are within it, and it's that divine alignment that is like a part of our lives. So I am so, so excited. We were talking about in my mastermind group about how what's your word for 2025? Like people were like, you only get one word. And what do you want that one word to represent for 2025? So now I've been asking everybody, like, what will be one word for you for 2025? My one word that I tell people is guaranteed. I want guaranteed
Oh,
success,
wow.
guaranteed clients, guaranteed, podcasts, guaranteed results. So what would your like one word? And then we could ask like the audiences when they can comment, you all comment in the chat, like comment on the post. What is your one word for 2025?
Yes, I think my word would be results. Yes,
Oh,
my
I love
result. Yes, because results, this is the key of each game. Yeah, because we want to get what we aim for. Yes, so this is why I named my company Mindset to Results and the podcast, because this is exactly how we can get results, anything we really want. And it can be silly, it can be like just no brainer, how people can think, yeah, like, how are you going to do this? Like, it is just out of any logic, but this is exactly how it should be. If your goal is something that you know that you can do, or you did it before and you know even like how to achieve it. If something connects together, it is not right goal. This goal will not make you grow. You will just quit every time when you face the challenges, because there's not enough fuel for you. Yes, you know, will not be such inspired and have this energy and fuel to overcome barriers which will 100% you will face. So that is a good question. Yes, think about big goal which is outside of your logic, outside of your experience for the next year. And of course, join masterminds to be among people who can hold you accountable, who can believe in yourself. So you can borrow their beliefs if you don't believe.
Yes. Yes, 100%. So you all have two words for 2025: guaranteed and results. So we're going to say those words together. You will get guaranteed results when you do the work, when you connect with your mastermind community, when you write it down to say you want to be on, her Mindset to Results podcast. If you want to have a coach like her and, to help yourself move forward, write those things down and it will guarantee you results for 2025.
Such a great combinations, yes, guaranteed results, really. If you develop the mindset, if you listen to amazing guests like lovely Marshall today, if you just listen all these amazing guests, everybody come with such a huge experience. Yes, their insights, their ideas, which already proven through their life. And I just think that these episodes which we create, each one is like a masterpiece that has so much knowledge. And today it is 99th episode. And I just think, wow, how do
99. You guys, I'm 99. I'm 99.
99 episode, like, wow. It is such a big. I have transcription of this all episodes,
Yeah.
and I will put them all in one book, because it will be just such a great book to read, because such a much.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just imagine episode one, I bet you was awful compared to like 99, and how your space looks now, your lighting, it looks so beautiful, but maybe once you first started, it wasn't the best. You maybe didn't have the best camera. And that's what we're telling you all. Get started. You don't need to have the best of everything. Just get started right now and you'll get better. You'll get those guaranteed results.
Yes, really. When I look first episodes, I use MacBook, and I don't know what happened with that camera of MacBook, but it is really like now when I look first episodes, they're blurring. I thought even, wow, the guests, poor guests came and they saw me sitting like in the fog. But interesting that despite of that camera, I just really love everyone who came to my podcast, because we had amazing episode despite on it is not looking so bright like now, but the content, like the topics we discussed, that it was always such a great value. Yes, and I really appreciate first guests who came with this enthusiasm. They didn't come and say, oh, like, you do podcast, but why you just don't get proper camera? Or why you are like sitting in a fog? What happened? No, they came with their, like such a great energy. And this it's just encouraged. I didn't even notice that camera was so bad. I noticed it even only later that it was really bad. But of course, this is such a great example, like that you don't need to have everything perfect. You just start from what you have, just do first step, and make decision that you are going to do with what you have. Do it now, move forward, and then you will improve.
100% do with what you have right now. Don't use you not having things as an excuse for you to stop. Those are distractions. Don't allow it to happen. Everybody never was ready. Like in the US, Mr. Beats is like one of the biggest YouTubers and didn't have anything. Even Bob Proctor talked about how
Mhm.
in The Secret, he didn't have the best thing. He just decided to do it because he knew that the movement of The Secret would be so powerful. So he made the time to do it. So just sometimes you just gotta make the time to do it. Just start where you are because the moment you start, then you get better and better and better. I agree.
Yes, this is the transformation actually which happens when we become different. Because before I was so perfectionist, like I wouldn't do anything if it would not be like perfect. Like now, for example, if I wouldn't have the background light like this, I wouldn't even do. And looking back at how I started this podcast, I see that I really changed it. I did a lot of work just to be as it is. Yeah, just not pretending that you are more than you are. Just really be yourself, do what you have, start from what you like now you have at your hand, and just provide the value, because this is not about us. This is what I really learned. Yeah, learned because before I would think about myself that I would be perfect, everything should be perfect. Yes, so the focus is about myself, not to look bad, right? But now what changed after I learned from Bob so many things, that it is not about me at all. It is about people, about the value which I can give, and I can change people's lives. Yes, now so many people really need this knowledge, because life is not easy for many people. Even why I choose to audience to be driven business owners and entrepreneurs, because I think these are the people who want to be their best. Yes, who take responsibility, who step out, and who can lead others. But in many cases, because they don't get this support and don't get this right mindset that will give them that consistency and that toughness. Yes, because you really have to be tough to go through challenges, to break in those walls. And it is not easy sometimes. But if you get this knowledge and you start implementing what we share in this podcast, you understand that power is within you, and this is the way how you use your mind. This is how you determine your success.
Yes, 100%. This has been such a great podcast, and I'm so honored that you allowed me to be on here for episode 99, y'all. Number 99, that's the best.
Yes, yes, lovely Marshall. Of course, you're most welcome. I am sure we have a lot to discuss. For example, I would like you to share in our next episode, I would like you to share your journey, how you mm, got to Facebook and how you got this huge check which you said about. It is really very impressive, and I'm sure that it will encourage people to dream and to believe in themselves. Yes, because if you can see it in your mind, you can hold
Yes.
it in your hand.
You can hold it in your hand. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I couldn't agree more. And it started with, I know we gonna keep talking about The Secret, but on my, like right here by me, I have The Secret check. So if you all want to make 500,000, if you want to make 70 pounds, whatever that number is on the secret website, they have that check. And I just wrote, like, I printed it out. I heard about it in the book that if you go to the secret, you could be able to print out the check from the universe for any amount. And so I did that. Like, I wrote it out. I wrote my name, Lovely Marshall. I wrote that it was for inspiration, innovation, and motivation because I didn't know exactly what I wanted it for. And in less than 3 years it came to pass. And again, it was because I stopped myself. There would be times that I would get a job rejection. I'd be like, oh no, well, then maybe it's not for me. So the secret website has checks available. So that's one thing that you all can do today for guaranteed results for 2025.
Yeah, I love that guaranteed results. Wow. Really, wow, there's so much in this phrase. You just can
Yes,
write, you check and
God.
write.
That's why I said our mastermind group. You said results. I said guarantee. Like that's so powerful.
Yeah, this is when people come together and their minds come together. They become that energy which can fuel hearts and lives of so many people. Yes, and this has become my passion to meet amazing people like you and to help those who are looking for to hear this information. Yes, so together we can do so much more.
Together, we can do so much more. We can go further, faster together. That is so, so
Yes, so thank you to you, lovely Marshall. I'm looking forward to see you again as an amazing guest on our podcast, and we will speak about your story. I think it will be very interesting to know more.
Yes, thank you so much. Have an amazing day, all of you listeners. Please be sure to comment, put in the chat, send her a message about your guaranteed results for 2025. Share it with your friends who are wanting guaranteed results. So excited to celebrate you all. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I am Lovely Marshall, founder of Lovely Is Your Story. Thank you.
You're most welcome, so see you soon again.